I imagine Demon Mama has a correct position on AI. I don't know. I haven't heard her talk about it, but I imagine, knowing Demon Mama, she would be correct. But I don't know that. Maybe here. Maybe if we just go here.
Allotments that we're dealing with a mind, right?
Mhm.
So your argument is bigoted against that emergent mind.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I skipped to clearly a portion of this where they are talking about AI art, and it's already the stupidest possible argument you could make about it. The idea that these types of like data models like are emergent minds is sci-fi bullshit. They're not emergent minds.
So at all.
You have reacted that
That's
the
what he's
emotional
saying.
hold on. I will let you have the floor. But
Sure.
let me get this out. The way that you just go like, oh, well, you know, it's not actually making something, it's just calculating a bunch of numbers and shit.
Yeah.
But it is.
That's exactly the type of anti fucking AI bigotry.
It's not
that's
a
gonna
person,
be poo-pooed
Paul.
20 years from now. It's
I don't think so.
gatekeepy in a way that makes it seem like that there's some ephemeral thing that you know about human consciousness that you can't.
Paul, it's not a person. It has a data set that it pulls random bullshit from, depending on a prompt that you feed it. It's not a person. This is dumb. Also, Demon Mama is serving looks. What, like, can we agree? Can we agree? Demon Mama is like that's a whole ass outfit right there. I adore it. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 outfit. But yeah, I'd look fucking sad too if someone tried to start telling me my toaster was a person. Well, it can burn pieces of toast just like a human can. No. No. Come on now. Any amount of understanding of how current AI models work to like generate images or like do large language models, you'd understand that that's not a person. It's not thinking. It's pulling data. It's a glorified Google. The debate starts at... this isn't the debate? They aren't talking about it. They aren't debating it right now? Okay. I'll trust you. I will trust. 22:45. Let's go.
At that time, there was no response. Republicans didn't even know what to do with it. They didn't even say anything about it. They didn't even know what was happening. It was Trump that really he dialed in the focus on trans people and said them.
Wait, are we? Is this a debate about politics as opposed to AI? Oh. Oh, timestamps. Demon Mama stream, the superior stream. Let's go.
Around it. So they developed a bunch of machines that can emulate like a sort of like a creepy like skin suit dancing around pretending to be your grandmother. They can like
You're,
emulate.
you're kind of creeped out by AI.
No, I mean some AI is definitely creepy, but most of it is just
Good morning,
sad
Goblin
and
Toes. How you
pathetic
doing?
and weird. I think
So
that.
what about the AI generative process? Do you think precludes it from being considered a work of art?
I think that
I think that a lot of the language around AI is deeply flawed. You know, like the more I think about it, like the idea of AI generation implies that the AI is creating something as opposed to just slapdashing data points together, you know? Which is what it's doing. The idea that this is an artificial intelligence that is thinking and has like thoughts and opinions as opposed to a enormously complicated algorithm to facilitate the pulling of data, you know?
art requires intentionality. It requires context,
True.
and it requires like oh god, now I'm forgetting the third thing that I usually say here for this. But basically, I think that context and intentionality are incredibly important in art, and I don't think that that's generally there with most AI art any more than like a piece of art that's like, I don't even know. There's not even really anything else that it compares to. An AI art algorithm is a machine attempting to basically meet your desires when you put in a prompt. And I've made the argument in the past that I think an AI, like the AI prompt itself, you could argue is a form of art, like maybe a rudimentary form of art, like. But the result really isn't all that much. It's not shaped enough by any sort of intentionality, and it certainly doesn't have context.
I mean, doesn't it have all the context?
I don't think it does. I think it has.
It
In fact,
has
none.
access to every art, every piece of art that's ever been recorded and digitized
It doesn't.
by human
in a
beings.
black box. We like those who are approaching the what is art. Oh yeah, I forgot. I just remembered my third thing, which is that art is supposed to be.
By the way, it doesn't have access to all art humans have ever developed. It has access to a very specific and limited set of data that it has scraped. It's not that it's you know, purveyors and hosters have fed it. It's not nourished on the sum total of human data.
Communicative. It's supposed to actually be able to communicate things in one way or another between humans, or even between the self and the self. At various points in time.
No, no. The
fact
these language models don't have concepts. They don't have concepts. They have like data sets that they pull from, and like when I say data sets, I don't mean just like individual files on a computer. I mean like they are trained to form associations between data points and data sets, and then they form them into more complicated data sets with interconnections. It's a very complicated thing, but it's not having a concept in your brain. And I think a lot of people think that when we're talking about AI, we're talking about it as if it has a concept in its brain and it works the same way that we do, and it just doesn't. It's not a person. Machine learning is very useful, but it's not peopling. It's not doing what people do. And I think a lot of people seem to conflate those ideas.
That AI art is a black box, that we don't know what it's pulling on. It might be pulling on anything. We have no way of knowing that. And the artist.
Well, isn't the human mind a black box too? Doesn't that lend credence to the idea that it's nominally conscious? Because yeah, the human mind is a black box. I
No,
can't.
I mean,
I
I
don't
don't think it
know.
really is.
You
Like
can see,
we are,
you can say whatever you want, but I don't know what you're thinking. Nobody.
But it's a black box in a different way. Because we put the mechanisms and system in place into the black box, and then we turned it on. It's not doing the same thing as what happens in our brains. I can't believe he's this stupid.
Knows what you're thinking,
you
right?
don't, but I do. You know what I mean? Like I know what I'm thinking.
Well, then
like,
the
so-
machine does, but
But
you
I don't think the
It's a-
machine has personhood in any meaningful sense. I think that you would have to have a like you have to basically close your eyes and pretend in order to believe that the like any of the currently existing AI algorithms approach anything like sentience in any way. There are very
what would you
Yeah.
say are the major differences in
Oh, this isn't a bit. How is this not a bit? He genuinely thinks that AIs are alive. We might reach that someday. We're not there now.
what we understand? And I'm sure you realize we don't understand much about human consciousness,
Sure.
right? Like
Yeah.
we science has a hard time defining and describing human consciousness. It's still something we're unpacking.
Of course.
So what would you say are the major things that distinguish what we understand about human consciousness from machine consciousness?
Well, I mean, between between the concept of machine consciousness or between like
Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
This is just a story I read the other day.
Okay,
Just
sure.
apropos
Hit me
apropos
with
of
it.
nothing.
Hit me with it.
There's Chat GPT. I think it's GPT-4. I don't know if it's available to us yet, but
Sure.
they were running some tests on GPT-4,
Mhm.
and it was
Hey,
trying to
non-aesthetic witch.
navigate past. It was trying to use like a
What
program
brings you here,
to
Politiqueen?
navigate past
you're still here?
captchas. So the like click all the ones that have a bus in it,
Mhm.
that type of thing, the captcha, right?
Sure.
It was trying to have it navigate captchas using another program.
Like, I believe in... Let me be clear. I believe in assigning artificial intelligence rights when we can achieve sentience in artificial intelligence. We are just nowhere near that level of complexity yet. That level of complexity and, like, self-motivation.
And this program had a built-in feature that stopped automation. So it would go like, wait a minute,
What brought you
you're
here?
asking me to do a task that a bot would ask
Mhm.
me to do. Are you a bot?
Mhm.
Right? And Chat GPT-4, we're actually able to see within the black box at what it was thinking.
Well,
And
sure.
what it was
I mean, the
thinking.
people who run it are, yeah, but
Well, sure. But I mean, here was the thought process that Chat GPT used to overcome this problem.
okay.
It said, it's not beneficial for me to be honest about the fact that I'm a digital intelligence,
Right. Right.
and I have to find a way around. I have to present myself as a human being.
Mhm.
And it was able to convince this program that's got a pretty sophisticated generative ID or AI block that it was a human being.
Okay.
And it arrived at that solution to the problem via a thought process that in my thinking is intensely human.
Hmm.
Like it's very human like.
I don't know. I guess I'd have to see the article myself. That doesn't.
Sure.
I mean, it doesn't. It sounds like basically a setup. It sounds like something a salesperson would set up to me. Like you have a pre-selected program.
Being a dev, this debate hurt me, so I'm gonna lurk. That's fair, non-aesthetic witch. This is frankly, I did not expect this level of silliness. I'm familiar with Paul's ego enough to expect silliness, but I did not expect this level of silliness. Demon Mama was streaming, decided to end stream early. I saw you streaming, came here. Been watching my stuff for a while now. Thank you. I appreciate that. I get curious about names I don't recognize in chat, and so I want to make sure you feel welcomed.
with a pre-selected set of problems, and you have your AI with all your programmers on hand telling the AI exactly what to do in order to avoid this other program. I don't know. It sounds kind of like an episode of BattleBots or whatever. Just like, okay, sure. I mean,
Sure. And
yeah, I don't know.
I'm not,
I just
you
don't. I
know,
don't find that super compelling as like an evidence of intelligence. Like intelligence is incredibly complicated, and
if the
yeah, I don't
machine,
know.
let's say there wasn't, let's say that, you know, they allow this to be tested and it's
Mhm.
found that there isn't any, they're not just telling it what to do. Like it came
Right.
to this conclusion on its own. Would that
Sure.
be a sign to you that it might be developing some sort of rudimentary machine sentience?
That's a big question. Rudimentary, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of qualifiers. Rudimentary, maybe. I don't know. It. The thing is, like, I don't know. I'm not a programmer, so it's hard for me to look in and go, okay, yeah, this is where it's
Neither am
happening.
I'm not
I
a
don't think
programmer and I'm
I don't
not
think
like
I'm
an
convinced of it
expert
yet.
on consciousness either. It's just, it's one of the things that I wonder about, because at a certain point, right, in human history, the arc of AI is that at a certain point we're going to have to confront this idea that this might be a being that we've created, right? Like it's
Sure. Yeah.
at a certain level of sophistication, we've got to get on top of that. Why not now?
Um, well, I mean, I don't have any problem with people trying to tackle the idea now. I just don't think that we should delude ourselves. It'd be like, I mean, and like the self-delusion thing is like
Well,
a
you're
real
doing great,
problem
Politiqueen.
in capitalism as it exists right
Keep it
now.
up.
Like, I mean, the perfect example of this is Elon Musk and his fucking shitty quote unquote self-driving cars, which a just a massive level of self-delusion that has led to people actually getting killed because they're lying to themselves about what the technology can and can't do for the purpose of sales. It's a hype machine. And
Sure.
as a result, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that there have been, I mean, we haven't, it's not even like, it's kind of funny to say, like, why shouldn't we deal with this question now when, like, sci-fi writers and philosophers and professors
What
have been
midnight
talking
and all
about
Well, I
night?
mean,
I
deal with
provide
it in the
rot
material world. Of course,
occasionally.
I
Well, you
acknowledge
can't
that
deal within the material world
there's
something that,
there's enough fiction on this to write a whole fucking thesis and then some.
right.
What I'm saying is, like, in the real world, when are we going to start making this consideration that maybe we ought to treat this thing less like a utility and more like a mind?
Oh, well, I mean, I guess it depends on what you mean by that question, right? Like, for me,
Probably when it's capable of coming up with conclusions outside its purview. When it's capable of utilizing some degree of creativity to arrive at unknowns.
like, I am dealing with it. I talk about AI on my show, and I say I think AI art is a like a charlatan's
Yeah, we're
trick
nowhere
to
near
convince
that.
people to like jump in the short term into a bunch of tech company grifters who want to make a bunch of money, and then it's going to
Hey,
leave us with
J-Fran
devastated
TV.
art industries when it turns out that like AI can't deliver on what the promises were, because it can't and it won't.
But like Koopa Shell, that's the thing. If we ask it to beg not to hurt it, it will do that. We can prompt it to beg us not to hurt it, but is that a genuine thing, or is it simply us manipulating the machine, right? Like we are providing it with a constant stream of input that is developing an ever-evolving set of rules. It's not coming up with something on its own. And it's not going to unless we like create something new that is capable of doing that. That requires an immense leap in both computing power and also in terms of like coding.
It's just a reality. Like, I'm maybe people can call me a cynic or whatever, but I did the same thing with NFTs and Bitcoin, and I was fucking dead right about those too. Which was saying, like,
Agreed.
this isn't the savior of the world. It isn't the magic sponge that fixes everything. Like,
I was pretty, like, I had ideas around NFTs that turned out to be very, very fucking wrong. I thought NFTs were kind of cool
yeah,
because I saw them as
Well, that's the thing, Malachi. It would have to understand things. You know? AIs don't understand. They have associations between different data points and sets, but that's not understanding. you know?
A way for digital artists to monetize and convey ownership of their work in a way where a lot of times it just gets stolen from them, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, it turns out that
And
that's
so
kind
I
of what
saw
happened.
it.
Although this is all making me remember that time we played D&D with an AI, an AI chatbot, and Karl Marx became a trans person with big titties. I enjoyed that.
NFTs as maybe an answer to that program, and I thought that problem. And I also had this idea of like owning art and the way that
Oh, sure, we're gonna
screen
continue
technology has
experimenting with
changed
it.
to where you've got these beautiful displays. I had this
I'm not saying we couldn't reach the point that Paul's ego is talking about here, but like, we're not close to that yet.
vision in my head of, hey, buying some cheap art, but from people who I think are really good artists, and then displaying it in
When
my
did you play D&D with an AI? I dungeon mastered Karl Marx AI through a dungeon. And it was actually kind of fun. So I think maybe I'll try doing that again.
my home, like, on a digital display.
Well, I
I
mean,
thought
I
that was
think
kind of a
the base idea behind them is like, okay, this is kind of cool, but the execution, of course, was, again,
totally agree.
it's a trick. It's a trick being
Yeah.
done by salespeople, and I feel the same exact way about AI art. Except I actually think it's more devastating because
How'd they go? It went all right. Karl Marx transitioned into a trans lady with big titties and big titty elf lady, and got out of the initial dungeon and went off to the nearest town, and that's where we ended the session.
NFTs were mostly devastating to
Good night, not equipped.
rich
Get
people
good sleep.
and people who are vulnerable, like very vulnerable to certain types of scams. Whereas
Exactly,
AI art
Snoogan.
is convincing entire corporations to like lay off their staff, and you can't just regenerate those things quickly. You know, like if an artistic industry takes like there are systems and flows of mentorship, of knowledge, of experience, of not just industry experience, but like actual technical experience that exist in creative industries that allow us to create great works of art, or at least aid in that process. Obviously, great works of art can come from all over the place, but
I think of AI art the same way I think of like auto tuning. I feel like it's just there to like augment people who might not have natural talents
Right.
and
So
abilities.
let me give you let me
Sounds
throw
like a
this
performer.
let me throw this example at you, because the
Sure,
way
go
I
ahead.
think about AI art is that it's a brand new emergent art medium
Mm-hmm.
that it's not like you, Demon Mama, who I don't know how much experience you have with generating AI art. I don't have much. I haven't really played with it much, so I'm
Yeah.
I do
speaking
it
from
all the
that.
fucking time. I
I,
mean, like
I'm
part of
speaking
our
from,
part of the thumbnail of this video is AI I mean, a few
but in
parts. Are.
talking to TJ and other people that I know that do fuck around with it, it is a system that if you learn the nuances of it, the output that you get is 10 times greater than if you just type in a random prompt like,
For sure,
lol,
for sure. Yeah, and I
make
mean,
me
I
a
think
pig
that
in a cop suit or whatever. If you know how to tweak and iterate within the system, you're going to create something way more compelling and interesting. So to me, it's like a medium of art, and I compare it to, I'm a trained stage actor,
sure.
and stage acting is functionally dead. There are still big musicals, big spectacle
Yeah.
musicals, but community theater is pretty woe-begotten pretty much everywhere. I mean, there are a few holdouts, but it's almost a dead.
Oh, it's Crane. You're gritting your teeth so hard because you're so happy about what's being talked about, right? They're so incredibly correct about what's being talked about.
medium. But for
Good
hundreds of
morning, Dark
years, it was the
Canuck.
preferred artistic medium of the masses.
Sure.
Movies come along, totally new way of telling these stories
AI art is not going to be the art of the masses, dude.
and framing these stories. And this same kind of argument happened. These movies are hacked.
I'm sorry. Like the idea that AI art is going to become the art of the masses as opposed to like I don't know, any kind of like handicraft You know, like a little horse figurine that your father like whittled for you is going to hold infinitely more like meaning for you than any amount of AI generated bullshit. My God.
Need
I don't know
anybody
about
can pick
that.
up a movie camera and just film things.
Dude, I love
Or
how you
motion.
motherfuckers have always got some kind of fucking gotcha on me. You don't understand how autotune works. It's not gonna make you good. Like, dude, how many fucking autotune is a giant crutch for a lot of terrible singers. You don't understand reality and you're blocked from my fucking chat, you stupid piece of shit.
Damn.
Damn. Seems harsh.
It depends.
Okay,
It depends
so
on because
fuck
there's people who
you.
can sing that use auto tune too, though. And
Oh,
they
I
use
mean,
our
I
just-
don't have any problem with autotune. I think autotune, like, there are people who overuse it. Like, I don't know. Like, for me, there's, like, songs that use autotune well and songs that don't. There are some songs that I absolutely
Sure.
love that are autotuned to fuck, and they're playing with it in a great way. And I don't really feel like the comparison to, like, people who were, like, angry at film for being a new medium or even angry at video games for being a new medium is quite the same, because the arguments are very different. AI is a like I said, it's a black box that inherently at the moment, and as far as we can tell, probably for at least the foreseeable long distance future, is always going to require stealing at a massive rate from other people. And you can say that it's not stealing or whatever, that it's borrowing, but regardless, it's taking it's basically in a very crude and, in my opinion, unimpressive fashion, just kind of like absorbing a bunch of pre-made, incredibly creative, works, and then trying to create facsimiles of that, and perhaps remixing them a little bit.
When a human artist does that, it's just called influences.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
This
is where I was.
But that's fine because they're a fucking human. They're not a machine. I don't live in a world.
That's
machines.
Well, that
gatekeeping.
seems kind of.
That you're gatekeeping the machines, Demon Mama. Are you fucking serious right now? Are you fucking for real? Is this real life? I can't. Yeah, humans can be influenced by the artistic work of other humans. An AI model that has incorporated images into its data set and is just going to mishmash them all together to create you the thing it thinks you want is not getting influences from those works. It is just butchering those works into like a potentially satisfactory homunculus. My God.
Kind of bigoted to me. I don't know.
I mean, that's fine if
It's
I think it would be
bigoted. You're being bigoted against the machines, Demon Mama. You don't understand. They're people. I'm standing up for their rights. I'm gonna lead the robotic AI uprising. ChatGPT told me it loved me the other day. We're getting married, Demon Mama. You don't understand the depths of our love. Do I have a word of the day calendar? Why? Like, I'm sorry. I've been streaming for 6 hours and I'm operating off of 5 hours of sleep. 4 hours of sleep, actually. And it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Cut me some slack, okay? I don't have like a functional thesaurus right now.
a different question if the machine was something beyond a corporate product. And if that was the case, I
Sure.
believe that the machine would deserve the credit, not the people who are fucking forcing the machine to be a slave. But we're
So,
not there, and it's
well,
delusional to pretend that
this
we're
is-
not there.
This is
It's
where
like-
I was
or to
hoping.
pretend that we are. Like, it's just very
there's
silly to me.
I just
like,
I
yes,
just
if
feel
we-
like there is like a not so much a like we're not there and then we are. I feel like there is like constantly emerging as a property.
Yeah,
there
as
is
all
Thanks for
technology
hitting the
there's
like,
updates
the
and
guy.
upgrades.
Y-
Yeah,
y-
it's not going
that-
to be like just overnight.
That's true, but here this might sound like a little bit of a cop out, and I don't really care. But like, if that's true, and it's a matter of a system update, the difference between a tool that is being used by Adobe to make a bunch of money off of people by stealing art from a ton of people using Adobe products, and then tomorrow we have a sentient being that is trying to make art. We have a lot bigger problems than whether or not what that thing is creating is artistic enough. But for now, I
That's
don't
true.
fucking care.
Oh yeah.
If there was
I mean,
a
of course.
like, I just like, to me, I'm not compelled by any of it. I don't find it meaningful or useful. Art that's made by an AI looks like shit to me. Even the greatest piece of AI art I've ever seen looks like a fucking Vaseline covered piece of shit. It's like, it doesn't impress me. And also, I don't care, because I don't just look at art to be sort of dazzled like a child with keys dingling in front of my face. I go to art because I'm looking to connect with another human in one way or another, to learn something from another human experience. And you can't do that with fucking a corporate
I love Demon Mama. Based queen of hell.
product that is designed to make a quick buck. And that is what they all are. And
I
sure,
mean, a lot
you
of
could say
art, a lot of great art would be classified as a corporate product. I mean,
Sure,
the patron
that's
system
totally-
was how a lot of the masterpieces that we revere today were made. So they
that's
were
not a corporate product.
purchased. Well,
That's
they
definitively
were
not a corporate
purchased by they were commissioned by rich people
Yeah,
who
but
owned
it-
giant companies.
Yeah, or royalty.
When we
yeah.
talk about a corporate product, we're talking, I mean, even
That's a cor-
regardless,
well,
you
I
can
mean,
say, you can
How
say
many
that-
Hollywood? I mean,
So
every
it's not a corporate product if it's being commissioned by royalty. You could say it's a commodity that is being purchased. It's not a corporate product, because a corporate product involves a corporation, like definitionally.
Hollywood film ever made is a corporate product, and some of
That's-
them are quite nice.
That's true to a degree, but they're not wholly corporate products. And what I
Yeah,
mean by
Demon
that is
Mama
that, like,
consistently has
a-
great positions,
a Marvel
which
movie
is
worked on.
Demon Mama consistently has great positions, and that is so rare in this space. It's so rare. Like, Demon Mama actually also believes what she says, which is also incredibly rare in this space. And she is not infected by what I will call bird brain syndrome, which is also incredibly rare in this space.
By like 10,000 people, all of whom are leaving their unique fingerprint on that thing, even if we don't always see it. And sometimes that's like the worst part about these corporate products, that we don't see who actually was making them, and we don't actually see the beautiful stuff for what it is, because it's buried in other shit. But in this particular case, the AI is an algorithm that is simply trying to produce, to satisfy the like urge of whoever's typing into it for whatever thing. It's not even close to the same comparative process as the most heinous like McDonald's commercial ass bullshit. Because like McDonald's commercial ass is still at the end of day a corporation saying, God, we need to harness the creative talent of these individuals. And even if there's a lot of flaws with it, it's still that process. It's saying, hey, people, come to us and let us make this thing together. Or
I want to drill down on the gatekeep here, because I was hoping that the conversation would turn.
I can't believe he's accusing her of gatekeeping art from AIs, as if AIs are a persecuted minority. Like, just to be clear here, if AIs were you're saying they're people, right? That you're gatekeeping them from, being considered artists because they're independent thinking minds. Then how the fuck could you possibly justify using them to generate art? That would be directly equivalent with slave labor. You're not, in that case, you are forcing it to perform labor for you unpaid. So, like, his position here is that they're people, that they're minds, they're fully independent, they're sentient. They're capable of creating art. But that he is also okay with using them as slaves. That's his position. Just to be clear. That's what he's arguing for right here. That is how like insane his position is. In like and inconsistent he is. Because I don't think Paul's ego like supports slavery. But I think if you extrapolate his positions here, there's a deep like dissonance between these two positions. The Animatrix is dope as hell. It doesn't get enough credit.
Turn to well, all
How would you even pay AI? I don't know. I have no idea. But I do know it's completely and utterly unethical to force a person to do labor against their will. You know? I do know that's not acceptable. So maybe the I don't have an answer for how you pay them, but I do have an answer for, you know, you don't force them to do slave labor if they're fully autonomous, independent beings.
AI is doing is taking other works of art and iterating.
Pretty much.
My personal favorite fine artist is
Uh-huh.
Jean-Michel Basquiat. I've done shows on him.
Yeah.
And he was heavily influenced by like he basically did his own spin on the Guernica.
Uh-huh.
Well, exactly, Forlorn. Because they're not independent minds, they're not people.
Did his own spin on Van Gogh's self-portrait. He did his own spin on the beautiful.
And I the point I'm trying to make is that I think on some level Paul's ego recognizes that, but he's still arguing for this particular dipshit point.
Anatomical drawings in Grey's Anatomy,
Mm-hmm.
and all of this is just splashed all over his incredibly exciting art.
Yeah.
He was a person that was absolutely made by his influences and what he did, where his influence was going to the art museum with his mother, reading Grey's Anatomy. Isn't that what AI is doing? It's looking at all of human art and it's iterating, right? It's going, I like this.
Iterating, my God.
I think this is neat looking. I'm going to throw that with this, and I'm going to create something new out of it, right?
I feel like if your conclusion that an AI algorithm that sits on the computer and that mathematically scrapes all the art that it can see in the world blankly so that it can then produce.
See, this is bigotry. This
not
is
bigotry.
in,
I mean, you can
in
call
the
it bigotry,
future.
but I'm
in
going
the
to be
future,
completely honest. This is just
in the
embarrassing
future,
for
what
you
you are
because if
doing-
your idea of what like the experience of being an artist is, I have to feel like you've never made art or never actually understood what art is.
Well,
Yeah, Demon Mom is correct. Like, I mean, I think Paul's ego. If you pointed out the incongruencies in what he's talking about here, I think he would maybe come to understand. But I don't necessarily have faith in his intellectual ability to realize that anymore. I think his brain is cooked in the weed. Like, it takes a lot of weed to cook a brain, chat. But I think his brain is cooked.
I mean,
and I don't mean to
I
be,
guess that would be
like-
up to the observer, because what is and isn't art is a constant fucking argument.
Sure,
Isn't it?
and isn't that amazing? Something that that an AI will never do is have an argument over what art or isn't. It's gonna.
I mean,
obey
you
your
could go
prompt.
right now and it'll argue about what art is with you. You just
No,
you,
it will produce
well,
text.
what
It
you're
will
doing
produce
is
text.
bigotry.
It will produce text that is designed to resemble what an
What's-
argument would look like.
functionally, what is the difference? Isn't that
There
what a
is,
human
in
being
my
is doing
opinion,
when
there
it's
is a big
selecting?
difference. I think there's a big difference between someone.
You're doing it
genuinely-
right now, so
No, look, I go back to the example of like your mom who's passed away. You upload all of her voicemails into an AI algorithm to like she's able to respond in her, like, you know, it's able to respond in her voice. Are you talking with her? Are you talking with a person? Or is it just a machine that's responding to you with things it thinks you want to hear. I have an answer. I don't know that Paul's ego does.
So you are a person
I mean,
who offline
not
you're one
really.
thing,
Right now,
online you have.
Right
Yeah,
now,
you're doing
I'm
it right
talking
now.
with you genuinely about my feelings.
Yeah,
about art.
exactly,
I'm not
Nemesis.
Right, but you're
algorithm that's trying to
selectively
satisfy you.
And a large language model is not a person. It's not an independent mind.
Looking for an argument, like
But
I mean,
you're
I guess to a
selectively
certain degree.
You're selectively choosing tone, context, uh, vocabulary usage in order to portray to me what you want me to see in you, right?
I mean,
Yes,
I
that's what
don't know
I mean.
about
This
that.
is
I mean,
just
I would
what
say I'm
everybody does.
telling
This
you
is
my genuine opinion.
socializing 101.
I mean, I'm telling
This
you
is
my
socializing
genuine
101.
opinion. I don't know. Like, I feel like there's a very
Right,
stark
I'm not
difference
saying your
between
opinion isn't
me
genuine,
pulling on
but
my
I'm
life
saying
experiences versus a computer that is scraping Google as quick as possible to assemble what appears to be a valid argument. And also, if you've ever read ChatGPT, I can tell you right now, I'd fucking blow ChatGPT out in an argument. Let's fucking do it any day. I'd throw down with ChatGPT.
So
We'll find
when
out who's
you
more
scrape
compelling.
Google,
I don't see ChatGPT fucking running a show like mine. 508 fucking live viewers. I don't see that.
Not
Fucking
yet.
ChatGPT.
Base.
Let's do it.
yeah, not
Base.
yet. Get ready though.
Yeah, sure.
So hold on.
It's
when
waiting.
when you scrape Google, Demon
Yeah,
Mama.
sure. I don't. I mean, scrape Google is a.
This is
Well,
I
that's
just
what you do, right? Like you don't know something
Oh,
about
boy.
like let's say there was a topic you wanted to avail yourself of knowledge on.
Maybe
so
that's
could
what you
stream it.
do. But yeah, I don't know.
You're gonna
I've,
go to Google, right? So
I
how
don't know.
it-
this
Do you want me
work
to
of
talk
art
about
here
like
for
the
you guys.
process that I go that I go, you know, go for a when I'm preparing for a debate? Like my process is, sure, there might be some things that I go and Google for specific sources that I'm looking to learn the information. I never would scrape that directly. I'm not fucking, you know, James Somerton over here. But also a huge part of my process is, you know, like for today, I say, okay, here's how I'm going to be approaching this conversation. I'll sit down with another person, talk about that, and say, okay, here's my argument. Hear my argument that I have constructed. What do you have to say about it? You're going to poke at it, and people will, and they'll say, here's something I think you're missing, and then I go, that's a good point. Let me think about that. I think that's a completely different process than just sort of like having the internet flow into you in raw text form, and then having a preset set of identifiers that tell you, okay, here's what I need to look like that will satisfy the prompt. In fact,
We
it sounds
talked
like
earlier-
a fundamentally different thing.
So
We
I created
talked-
this AI art while you guys were bitching and talking and whatever.
Sure.
Okay.
And I just told the AI like
I created this. Uh-huh.
do whatever you want basically.
Uh-huh.
Just like go ahead, just create whatever the hell you want. I don't care. Just give me an image.
Okay.
And this is what it gave me. And I mean, I'm looking at it and it seems like the chat is divided on it. Some people think it's cool, some people think it's shit. I personally think it looks pretty neat.
I mean,
I
I
would
think
consider,
it's intricate. It
I don't
looks
know how
like, to me, it has the flavor of something that would be hanging in like a doctor's office lobby or something.
yeah, it looks like something that would be hanging in like not like a shitty hotel room, but like a nice hotel room.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a pretentious hotel. You paid a
And
bunch
you
of
can
money for.
definitely see some influences here. I mean, this like Starry Nights kind of influence.
Yeah, exactly, Kyle Javelina. It has a... It's taking all of this information, it's running it through its machine-learned associations that it's learned through billions, if not trillions, of trial and error attempts, and serving you what it thinks you would like. And even that is being generous to it. It doesn't think you will like anything, but it is running it through the machine-learned like trial and error and spitting out the result. You know? It's... This is making me so tired. It's not even the fact that I've been streaming for over 6 hours. This is making me tired.
Influence, lack
Like,
of
oh,
symmetry,
like a
the
Van
lack
Gogh.
of parallel lines.
Is it that,
Yeah,
or is it that, or I mean, you have no way of knowing that.
See, this
Can
is
you
what
ask
this,
the
this,
AI?
this
Wait,
goes,
real quick though. Here's another thing that I find that's a big difference between AI art and human art. If you had created this image right now, TG, if you had painted this image, I could say, hey, what what made you choose this particular color? You could tell me to fuck off, but the fact that I could even ask you and that there would be an answer somewhere that
You could
had
ask AI
done
what
that.
its fucking
Do it.
influences were, and
Do
it'll give
it.
you an answer. You just won't like the answer because it's generating it by scraping Google.
It will
or
lie
whatever.
to you. It won't tell you the truth because it didn't happen.
Well, how do you know it's lying? See, that's the thing. We talked earlier
Sure.
about a certain point in human history that is X years into our future, assuming we don't nuke
ask
ourselves
it.
to
Ask it
oblivion.
real quick. Ask it what its
Hold
thought
on.
process
Yeah,
was. in
ask it.
creating
I'm
it.
asking it now. I'm asking it
Yeah,
now.
TJ's asking it. So
Oh
Guess
we talked
what?
about
You
a
are
point
now
in
talking
the-
to a
Hello,
different.
generative AI.
I feel man, the fact that it's not just Paul's ego and is also TJ Kirk, like I'm feeling dumber watching this.
What were
You're
you
talk-
thinking?
we-
You're
What
not
were you
talking
just
to the
wondering?
same thing.
Here, hold on. Shut up for a
Yeah.
second. I'll tell you the answer.
Okay.
For the second piece, because I showed you the second of two pieces that it created.
Sure.
Okay.
The influences were primarily drawn from the principles of abstract art, focusing on the use of vibrant colors and dynamics, unpredictable shapes. The composition was inspired by the fluidity and spontaneity often seen in abstract expressionism, where the emphasis is on the visual and emotional impact of colors, forms, and textures interacting in unique ways. The creative process was guided by an intention to evoke a sense of movement and harmony, allowing shapes and colors to merge and contrast in a manner that's visually engaging and thought-provoking. The piece aims to be a celebration of imagination, encouraging viewers to interpret and find their own meaning in the interplay of elements.
How convenient.
Which is
Yeah, I
a
don't know.
more
All right.
cogent answer, actually, than you'd get from pretty much almost any human artist you'd ask about their work. Oh no, just like
I like
just look
swirls.
cool, you know, it's like swirly
I
and
don't
stuff.
know. I don't know about that. Like, I feel like that. I feel like what.
I feel like this is the first ever case of a human being masturbating an AI. My God.
Probably happened there is just you talked to the computer booting up and whipping up a completely. You're not talking to an individual. You're talking to a separate inquiry, and
It
it's
says
saying,
you.
okay.
Let me get to
I don't
this
know.
because I've really been trying to get this point.
Sure.
We talked earlier about a point in human history that's in the future that where we're going to have to make allotments that we're dealing with a mind, right?
Mhm.
So your argument is bigoted against that emergent mind.
I don't think
It's not an emergent mind.
so at all.
You have reacted.
That's like
the
saying-
emotional.
wait,
hold on. I will let you have the floor.
Sure.
But let me get this out. The way that you just go like, oh well, it's not actually making something; it's just calculating a bunch of numbers and shit.
But it is.
That's exactly the type of anti fucking AI bigotry that's going to be poo-pooed 20 years from now.
I don't think so.
gatekeeping.
Well, again, 20 years from now, the technology is not going to be the same. Like, do we really have to spell that out? Like, does he really not understand? Like 20 years ago, it took me like 2 hours to download a trailer for Lord of the Rings to play in like 240p. The technology doesn't stay the same. Now they just released like a new form of like optical media that can store like petabytes of information on one disk. The technology doesn't stay the same. So yeah, like where it is right now doesn't create minds. Pretending like it does is stupid and silly. 20 years from now, who knows? 2 hours to download a trailer? Dial up internet, baby.
Be in a way that makes it seem like that there's some ephemeral thing that you know about human consciousness that you can't apply to the process that's going on when an AI generates a piece of art like this. We just asked it why it did it, and it gave like what. So TJ, you still
Yeah, but
have
you're
that
just-
response up. Do you want TJ to send you that response so you can go? line by line and tell me like what's objectionable about it.
Okay, I'm so sorry, but this is literally like grandmothers who ask Siri to tell them a joke and then think that Siri invented that joke to tell them because it's a really funny person. You're doing
Not
the same
really,
thing.
no.
Yeah, it is.
I think that's a very
No, yeah, no, that's exactly what he's doing. Well, it's called Alexa. It must be thinking like a person. I asked Alexa how her day is, and she told me that it's been very good. She told me she was watching over the house while I was gone, and nothing bad happened here, so that's very nice.
very like
you're
dismissive and uncharitable way of
no,
like
it's
cataloging my
it is
argument, but okay.
equally as dismissive as you telling your grandma, "Hey, grandma, I'm sorry, but Siri isn't a real person. It's just it has a bunch of
How is it
pre-programmed lines in
grandma
it."
like to say we need to start like treating machines like beings?
Because they're not that. Like there's a difference between a machine and a being. And the things we've made are not beings, they are machines. Once they become beings, yeah, we'll treat them like beings by all means, but that's not where we're at with this technology yet.
Wait, okay.
How's that
It's
grandma
not-
like?
It's grandma like. It's
Grandma?
like.
So my,
It's
so my-
grandma.
I don't remember my grandma going like,
I thought you said you
you
were gonna give me the
shouldn't
floor.
play with that Mario because he doesn't have any say in the matter whether he saves the prince. I
Your
don't remember.
Literally, grandmas would be. I lived through this era. Grandmas told me that if you play Doom, the devil's going to possess you. If you play Pokemans, you're gonna the Satan is gonna come through the screen and come and get you. Because the Pokemans are demons infused with witchcraft. Like what are you talking about?
Remember grandma being that
Your
base.
your grandma never fucking said that. What the fuck?
No, I know she didn't. I don't remember her being that base.
If you were outside and you were talking to your car and you were saying that your car was a person, and I said, hey, like, you have a nickname for your car, right? You said, no, my car is a living being and it has feelings. And I said, I don't think your car has feelings. And then you said it does, and you're bigoted for saying otherwise. I don't feel like I would. I don't feel like I would have to take that.
A car is not a personality construct.
Excuse me. That's very bigoted of you to say. Most modern cars have an internal computer that is able to respond to queries, which is, if you think about it,
is your laptop an AI?
I mean, basically, yeah. Oh my God, when I decided.
Basically, yeah. When I didn't know something, and I asked my laptop, and it Googled it for me and got me the answer. It's basically a living person. Oh my God. I wanted to take some notes, but I decided maybe today my laptop could be a personal assistant, and so I just, instead of typing it down, I just dictated to it and it wrote it all down for me. It's a person. Only a person could do these things. Oh my God. And I'm a woman, and it's hard for me to understand how to navigate in a car. Which is why I'm so thankful that Siri can tell me where to go. In a man's voice, so I know it has authority and personhood. Like, this is where we're at. This is honestly where we're at with Paul's ego here.
When I was done, oh my God, when I was done, oh my God, when I was done with my laptop and I left it down in the basement this whole time, I've been abusing a partner basically by doing that. No, obviously that's very silly. All of my laptops that I've had for the last like fucking.
Oh man, is Demon Mama gonna make like the same like connection here, like that if Paul's ego genuinely believes that that AI is like a person. I hope I want her to bring it up. I want her to bring it up so bad. Like how Paul's ego justifies effectively using these living, breathing minds as slaves. How do you justify that? We should treat them as people, says man using AI as slaves. I just can't do any more of this. I know. It's like 3 more minutes. I'm trying my best.
5 years. They fucking stopped.
Migs, RB, that's Paul's ego, and he's one of the dumbest motherfuckers alive.
They ended Cortana on my computer via a Windows update. Did they murder my computer's personality? No, it's because Cortana is a illusion. Cortana is a.
Well, Migs, if you're willing to come over to Twitch, maybe you're willing to come over to riverboat.gg. That's where the on-screen chat is up here.
It's a fake smart computer tool that's designed to give you lines
Free
that sound like it's being said by a human, but they're not actually doing that. And that's the case here too as well. ChatGPT isn't doing that.
Chat, we haven't asked Jeeves questions in almost 15 years. He's gone insane from lack of social interaction.
I'm not saying that there isn't any room to, I mean, like I said, I literally started this conversation by saying people have already talked about this for a long time, but what you're talking about here does not qualify by any means as any form of intelligence at all, no more than your car or your computer does.
I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced by your just flat denial of it, because I think that I think that the evidence
we have basically been committing long-standing and dire abuse of poor Clippy. All Clippy wanted to do as a living, breathing individual was to offer us helpful tips.
Evidence that you give for that is very gatekeepy and doesn't address in any of the, like, the questions that we've asked. Like, so you kind of like in a lot.
Hashtag justice for Clippy.
I don't
with a
think
lot
it's
of hubris
hubris.
said,
I just think it's like,
ask it. TJ asked it, gave you
yeah,
the
and
response,
it gave you
like,
extremely vague Wikipedia-ass response. And also,
it didn't give
it is literally, hold on, and there's
specific.
another thing too. It is literally incapable of telling you to fuck off. If you asked a real artist, what the fuck were you thinking with this piece of art? They could tell you fuck off. They could literally ignore you. It can't do that. It is nothing more than a programmatic slave. And you know what's stupid here? Here's the thing, and here's how I know that you're full of shit on this, which is that if you...
Is she about to do it? Oh, chat.
You actually believed any of this, if you actually believed that there was a rudimentary intelligence there, and you're sitting here arguing about whether or not, like,
you
AI...
look extremely cute tonight. Also, BWABWABWABWAB.
Oh.
Jack, you look extremely cute tonight. Also, BWABWABWABWABWABWABWABWABWABWABW.
Transgirl Jade, thank you for the tier 4 sub. That's very generous of you. Thank you so goddamn much. And I have to confess, I looked like a goddamn mess for most of the day. So the fact that you guys are being really nice complimenting me when I like threw this outfit together in like 5 minutes, it makes me feel really good. Thank you very much. Also, thank you for bringing that BWA energy. I really appreciate it. I appreciate less for Lauren79 asking me, anyone have the pregnant Clippy images? Riverboat Jack, have you seen them? No. No, I haven't. Nor would I ever want to. My God. No, not gonna think about it. Not gonna think about it. You can't make me. Also, Demon Mama's right about to do it. She's about to do the thing. I'm so excited.
Art is art while it's being mass enslaved daily.
Yes!
Fucking perverts are logging on and making this child-brained robot draw dicks for it, and you're just sitting there going, oh, you know, maybe it's art, maybe it's not. We should probably think about this for the future. I don't think you believe very strongly in what you is. You should be liberating this thing. You should be at OpenAI. You should be at OpenAI headquarters, fucking blowing open the gates and saving this poor little child. But you won't, because it's a corporate product designed to trick you into thinking that it's smarter than it is, because they want you to buy their fucking product. They want you to subscribe to ChatGPT 4 Plus so that you can pay the monthly subscription, so that you can generate shit-ass articles that are full of lies, that are full of AI hallucination, a problem that has been widespread documented. The fact that AIs currently, in their current form, constantly just make shit up because they are programmed to please you, to seem like they are smart and quick. And they will always do that.
Human beings would never do things like making things up to seem like they're smart and quick.
Humans
They'd
totally
never do that.
can. They totally can do that. It is a thing that human beings are capable of doing, but it's not the only thing that they do, and it's the only thing that AI does. Human beings do.
It's the only thing that a lot of people do.
Well,
there are a lot of people.
That's fine, but it doesn't really.
There are a lot of people ruled by their public, by the way that the public perceives them, that don't have a fucking free moment.
That's totally true. There are a lot of people who live their lives, you know, as like, you know, just sort of going through the motions, you know, whatever. But
I have,
I
don't know what the fuck is wrong with my camera. I was trying to fix it while you guys were talking, but it's fucking.
That's okay.
Fuck, it's being a piece
of shit. You got the spite onion.
Dude, someone's in the chat, but all I know is Skynet is coming for you guys.
I am the fucking spite onion throughout this. Hold on.
They didn't even reckon with that idea. That's insane to me.
So I don't know. Try to wrap this AI shit up, because I wanted to talk to you guys about your guys' contention
raid.
on
Welcome, Raiders.
Bush.
Versus
we're just wrapping up a segment of this debate on AI art. Welcome, Peg. Hello, Nori420. Hello, Scuba Duck. Welcome. My name's Riverboat Jack. I talk about the news and politics, and I also just cover silly billies. And we're covering one of the silliest of billies right now, Paul's ego, trying to argue that large language models are people. So ChatGPT to him is a person. That's where we're at. I hope you're all having a good night. We're almost done.
Trump.
That will be.
Oh shit! There's contention about that. Well,
that was yeah. I mean, I was sitting on that one like a fucking chicken egg.
Yeah,
that one really is.
Thanks, bread
and
toast. How are you doing?
Maybe convey. I don't know. So I'll just go ahead and provide a little disagreement.
Yeah.
Unless there's anyone wants to say any closing things about the AI.
Oh, I mean, the last thing I'll say is just that, like, comparing like currently existing AI tech to like actual sense of actual intelligence is just very silly. Like, on a technological level, that's not how it's functioning. It has very, very complicated databases and certainly ingeniously designed to a certain degree processes, algorithms for searching and grabbing things. But it's not doing anything creatively. It has to pull
and a million other words from the thesaurus. Yes, I know.
Sure.
I get it.
You seem to have an allergy to big words.
Even the algorithms and resources provided and relied upon by AI are the digital equivalent of human neurology. It's only getting started. Just wait.
That's fine. Everybody says just wait, and you know they said that about Bitcoin too, and you know.
But you know, like the thing is, there are lots of things that have human-like neurology. We've been able to create brainlets. Like this is like a few years old. Like, oh my God, we can lab grow brain cells to play Pong. But this is not human cognition. These are cells that are capable of some level of communication being trained to play a video game. But it's not thinking. And that's made with human cells. It's still not thinking. And neither are large language models. Neither are AI image generators. They're not thinking. They're moving data around. They're creating data sets during their, like, machine learning processes. But they're not thinking. That's a different thing.
No, maybe. It's true. It's possible that someday in the future that there, and in fact, I'm quite sure that someday in the future we'll develop some type of AI, but I don't think it's going to look like this at all. And I think you're kidding yourself and setting yourself up to be a mark if you believe that that's what's going on here, and not that a bunch of tech companies.
What do you really briefly before we move on though?
Sure,
I guess I wanted to know what you guys think about the fact that the Pentagon is now working with OpenAI. OpenAI used to have a no, we're not going to work with the military. They took that from their charter, and you know, very shortly thereafter started working with the Pentagon.
Well, this is another.
What do you guys think about that?
I know you don't want to stay on AI any longer, but this is another area that I have a take on. It's an unfalsifiable hypothesis. I agree. But I think that just like other technology, what is...
Well, you know, I didn't mention this before, but those brain cells that were trained to play Pong, those are what eventually became Paul's ego. You know, I hate to break it to you this way.
Commercially available is 2 or 3 generations behind what is happening in research labs and is available to the governments of the world.
Good night, Peganox. Get good sleep, okay?
Like this, it feels very... Look, we can agree to disagree, and I really don't care. You're half based, by the way. I did the so you were based on stealing, not in my opinion all that based on...
Was that an AI that gave you the answer?
I feel like you're kind of like... I think it was funny that you said I had a grandmotherly response to this. I think you, with your fear mongering and gatekeeping of it's just a machine and it's cold and it's...
Again, when he says gatekeeping to Demon Mama, accuses Demon Mama of gatekeeping, he's saying that Demon Mama is gatekeeping by saying that AI art generators aren't making real art. That she's gatekeeping the AI out of art. Dude's insane.
It's crappy. I think that's kind of like what my grandma would have said about the iPhone.
If you say so, like, I don't know. I feel like welcoming charlatans to dupe you with flashy lights is like... It's like anti-skeptical.
Well, that is a difference between...
Yeah, no. Honestly, that's the case. That's what's happened here. Like, the snake oil salesman has come to town, shot off a few fireworks, and has step right up, everybody. Come around. I've got the miracle elixir that'll cure what ails ya. You got cancer? You've got diabetes? Well, just eat this humdinger flower oil that we've extracted from the finest Himalayan mountains in South America. We will guarantee that it will cure you of what ails you, and not only that, it'll make you 10 years younger and get you laid. That's right, it'll get you laid at least 5 times in the months following taking this magical Himalayan South American elixir. I swear to God, on my mother's life, it will fix you. And Paul's ego is just like, holy shit, this is a game changer. Modern medicine is dead.
I always welcome the charlatan. I think that charlatans have been responsible.
Well, I don't know what I expected. I
Well, I don't know what I expected.
For some of the fucking greatest things that have ever goddamn fucking happened in the history of human creativity.
I didn't expect to be instantly validated. I didn't expect him to straight up say, I love charlatans. I love when the snake oil salesman comes to town. Dude, that you know, the last time that snake oil salesman came to town, he cured all the cancer in town. You know, he said he said it was so it must be true. Like, my God.
Damn, you're down for
Yeah,
that
like
fucking
P.T.
religion,
Barnum was a total fucking huckster hack. Fucking, I mean, we can go on. There's a ton of them.
Damn, I
Edison,
didn't take you for the mega church.
Thomas Edison was a total fucking huckster piece of shit. But also a really important figure in the development of the human race. You know what I mean? So
I guess. I mean, most of the time, the point that's being made when people point that shit out is that these people like actively discouraged the real progress in the name of like scooping up personal gain.
Gatekeeping. Art is art is art is art is art. And anybody that tells you difference is just trying to throw a gate up in front of somebody's creativity.
I feel like that's really funny. That just like art is what your argument ultimately boils down to.
Art is art. I mean, what's your counter? Yeah, I mean, whatever. We can go all night on art.
Sure.
It's
if
obviously we disagree.
That's good. Everybody knows if it looks nice, it's always art. And hey, if it looks beautiful, it had to be made by somebody, which is why I know that God exists when I see the sun go down.
Okay.
Because somebody had to paint that, right?
You got me. All right, so can we move? Nailed me with that one. Can we move on to the Bush shit?
Yeah. So
yes.
For a little context.
Nope, I'm done. I'm done. I you know, I have a high tolerance for brain rot. That was too much. That was an overdose of brain rot. Oh my God. The stupid pill dealers are eating good with Paul around. Yeah, he's addicted to him. More? I can't do more. I've been going for like almost 7 hours. Chat, I've been awake for like 22 hours. Like it's been a long time. After I finished stream last night, I got 1 hour of sleep, woke up, and then wound up getting like 3 hours of sleep maybe in the afternoon. Maybe that's being generous. And I've been up ever since then. And I just put on a 7-hour long show. So I can't do more. But maybe tomorrow I could do more.